Live in 10 seconds. Good afternoon. My name is Walt Griffin, Superintendent of Seminole County Public Schools, and welcome to our second Lunch and Learn. Today's focus is on elementary remote learning. Just a reminder, Seminole County has over 67,000 students, and I just want to acknowledge all of our teachers and all the team members, and certainly all the parents that have worked to make this fast transition from face-to-face learning to remote learning. I want to acknowledge that this change happened in a matter of 8 days, and I get asked a lot, what's the difference between the planning that took place for remote learning and for virtual school? For virtual school, we took 3 years to plan that entire program, and our teaching and learning department, with the help of our great teachers, turned this around in 8 days. So just special recognition for them as we get closer and closer approaching Teacher Appreciation Week. I also continue to get asked, are we going to have school in May? And I will tell you, I'm awaiting direction from the governor and from the commissioner. And within minutes of when I receive that direction, we will get something out to all of our families. But let's get on with today's topic of elementary remote learning. With us, I have 3 guests. I have our Director of Teaching and Learning with us, Dr. Gard Harold, and our 2 elementary executive directors, Dr. Cummings and Dr. Dellinger. Okay, so the first question, this one goes to Dr. Gard Harold. Dr. Gard Harold, what supports are available for parents who are struggling with technology?
And it said, our parents, our students, our teachers, our administrators, everybody probably participated in arguably the largest educational reform in the shortest amount of time in the history of the world. So kudos to everyone. I know we're all working hard. We're all doing the best job we know how under the circumstances. And I think we all deserve to be giving ourselves and one another a pat on the back because it's not been easy. As a parent, I'm right there with you, and so I understand that this is challenging and that we will continue to do our very best. To the question about what supports are available for parents for online support, we do always have our SCPS help desk at 407-320-0350, but also there's some just-in-time support available for all of our students and parents. So in everyone's portal, they have what is called the academic support tile. And in that academic support tile, there is content for parents and for students to help you navigate some of the online learning. For example, if a student is unable to reach their teacher, there is a directory of specialists who have content expertise in everything, including ELA, math, science, and social studies, as well as world languages and all sorts of other subjects. So there is other support if you are unable to reach your teacher. There's also resources for parents on how to access and navigate Google Classroom, Google Hangouts Meet, eCampus, student email, and other resources. So we encourage parents to go with your child into their SCPS portal and check out the academic support tile, and we will continue to build things in there as we hear from parents that they need additional resources.
Thank you, Dr. Gard Harold. Next question has come in for Dr. Dellinger. What tools will be used to determine what gaps in learning have resulted from students being at home, and how will those gaps be addressed?
About the fact that distance learning is not the same thing as what happens in the classroom every day, and we believe that when our kids come back to school, that we will have some gaps in the learning. And so we're going to put back into place the same tools that we already use. For example, the best person to know the gaps are the teachers, and they'll be able to interact with their students and see what they're doing. We also have formative assessments that are aligned to our standards, and our Department of Teaching and Learning is refining those now with the idea in mind that we may have to go back and see what have we missed that we need to make sure that we cover moving forward. And then also we have some diagnostic tools. We have our iReady diagnostic that is used 3 times a year. And if we're back in school in August, we will definitely start with that. We also have the DRA, which is an assessment that can be given to students one-on-one to determine areas of concern and let us know what interventions need to be provided for those students. So all of those things will help us find out what gaps and what areas are in need of attention, and it's a very individualized way of determining how can we best support the students. And just as an aside to that, also, we have had some questions from parents concerned about retention. And so we want you to know that, all of our students have been out of school for the last few weeks, but whether or not a student would be retained would probably already have been a subject of discussion with your child's teachers and with the principal. And certainly this last part of the school year is not the sole determiner of that. So if you have any questions, you would definitely want to reach out to your child's teacher or to the principal and have that conversation with them.
Thank you, Dr. Dillinger. Dr. Cummings, what are the instructional expectations for teachers?
And that students are engaged with their teachers in a variety of formats. And as Dr. Harrell shared earlier, that can happen several ways. Teachers are expected to have a maximum of 2 graded assignments per subject per week in the content areas. In addition, students are expected to complete 46 minutes of iReady in the areas of mathematics and ELA each week. We've asked teachers to be very careful not to overload students. If you feel for some reason that your student has more activities than they can complete, please feel free to reach out to your teachers as you would at any other time. They are there to support you. There are other activities that that students may be asked to do. We encourage reading every day. We encourage writing. We try to make sure that teachers are incorporating fun into the activities that students are doing. So their writing assignments really could be around their day. It could be around how they are feeling. So in addition to those graded assignments, there may be some other things to really help your students to practice and to stay engaged with learning and instruction.
Thank you, Dr. Cummings. Dr. Gard-Harold, we also hear the other side of the spectrum from parents who are wondering what resources are available for parents who are looking for more to do with their children.
So first of all, kudos to those parents because they are doing better than I am. I'm hanging on by a thread. But for all of our parents who are looking for maybe something extra to do with their students, we do have all of the special area teachers. Please remember that those special area teachers, art, music, PE, and world languages, are all looking to connect with your children. And so please make sure you're looking for the resources provided by those teachers. Additionally, on the Seminole County Public Schools website, we do have the distance learning. That'll be the first thing that pops up in your banner when you go to the SCPS website. And when you get to the distance learning COVID-19 page, you'll find a section that says educational resources. In that section of educational resources, you will find a curated list of audiobooks, ebooks. There are labs from the Smithsonian Institute. There are daily live feeds from places like the Central Florida Zoo. And there are virtual tours for places like Ellis Island, Yellowstone National Park, and Stonehenge. So there are plenty of opportunities for parents to engage in more activity with their students if they're looking for something unique to do.
Thank you, Dr. Gard-Harold. Dr. Dillinger, well, this is a common question. Our parents suddenly are working at home and they're teaching their children. So the common question is, how do I balance my own work with supporting my child with distance learning?
And that is a very commonly asked question. As a matter of fact, just last night I was on Facebook looking at some pretty funny videos about parents struggling with that. But I think I have a couple of things to say. First, if you have a very young child and you're away from home during the day, more than likely there's a caregiver or a sibling that can maybe help that child log in. These children do know how to log in and get some of their assignments done. Also, if they are at a daycare provider, some of these things can be done there at their daycare center. And then finally, if you're the one and only and you've got to support that child, then the most important thing to do is to set up a routine and let the child know each day what they need to do, and then find a time to just check in and make sure those things are happening. Play catch up on the weekends. We hear a lot of parents telling us that they use the weekend time to kind of get caught up on things and turn things in on Monday. And we're asking our teachers to really accept those kinds of things on Monday. So the best thing that you can do is try to keep a structure in place, try to utilize the resources within the home, and also try not to let it overwhelm you. And if you need some help and you need to cut back on something, or you need a teacher to give you some helpful hints or ideas, contact that teacher. Our teachers, just like you, are also at home, and many of them have their own children, and they're doing the same thing. So they have a lot of empathy for these situations and are very willing to work with you.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. I also want to add, I worked with a family last week. Mom works all day. She has an essential job. She comes home at night, and all of a sudden, the student needs to work for 3 hours on their schoolwork. I encouraged her, and she did, to work with the daycare provider to provide some academic time during the day, some structured time, because it's hard. These parents are working 8, 10, 12 hours. They come home. The kids, that's not the time for them to start their work, really. They're paying these providers good money. The providers can help out a little bit, too. Dr. Cummings, how are students being graded? Are students receiving grades for PE, music, and art?
Yes, students are receiving grades for PE and art. Our grading system has not changed. It is aligned with our student progression plan. So students do receive grades of S's and N's in art, PE, and music that's satisfactory or needing improvement. Basically, in those subject areas, we're asking students to participate. It's good for them physically. It's good for them mentally. Some kids that may be feeling a little bit of stress, that activity is strongly encouraged. Students can demonstrate that through the arts, and we certainly encourage that. We have a very rich arts program in elementary school, and so we are encouraging students and families to be active. That could include going for a swim, taking the dog for a walk, bouncing the ball outside, but all of those activities are a part of what we have in our curriculum every day. And so we are encouraging kids to do that, and they will receive grades. That is nothing outside of what normally would happen in grading PE, art, and music. Also, for our content area grades, we are sticking with what we've done before. As you know, students do have to master standards, and the expectation is that students will continue to grow and to improve. And while students learn in different ways at different rates and different paces, we still expect student growth. And so we will continue to work in this new normal. We recognize that parents and teachers will have to make adjustments during this time, and we want to work with our parents and our students collaboratively to make that happen. But there will be grades. Students are accustomed to receiving grades, and I think we've asked teachers to be very clear with parents on what those graded activities will be, and to continue to work with students to help them be successful in completing those activities. I think the big message that we want to have and we want to give to our parents is students do need to participate. The expectation is that they will give us their best effort. They have been working with their classroom teachers. They have a strong understanding of their strengths and weaknesses, and we want to continue to help students grow academically.
All right, thank you, Dr. Cummings. Dr. Gard-Harold, what virtual online learning options will be available to students when school resumes?
So I do want to state for families, what we are experiencing right now is not virtual school. It is not virtual school. It is not homeschool. This is a response to a pandemic. And so what our teachers are putting out for our students is the best option that they have for students at this time. For families that think, hey, this is great, we might want to consider this in the future, understand that the workload will be far different if you were to move to a virtual option. Not to say that that option is not right for some students. It absolutely is. But it's something that requires consideration beyond what we've experienced in these last few weeks. We are currently working on expanding all of our online learning options for families. Our families in Seminole County have become accustomed to a certain level of flexibility in learning and their education pathways, and so this is an opportunity for us to look at all possible learning modalities for our students and consider other options as families start to see other available pathways for their students to learn and to engage with their classmates.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Dellinger, how do I ensure that my child stays on task when online? Popular question.
Very popular question. And so it's important, just like you would normally when your child is at home in their room, perhaps doing homework, to know what exactly are they doing in there. And so one thing I would say to you is that it's most important to monitor your child when they are using the computer, when they're on the internet, when they're visiting websites and that kind of thing, monitoring what they're doing. Have them be in a place where they're visible, where you can see what they're doing, when you can walk by and check out and see what's happening. The truth is that we from the district cannot monitor everything from your home. So if you are concerned about what your child, a website that your child might be going to, one suggestion is that you Google it and find out what you as a parent can do to institute parental controls for your home. Parents can control the router settings, can block sites, and if you are unsure how to do this, you might find an answer on Google, but we also can support you through the district. Our district is putting together some technical support which will be available on the website. And so I think it's a three-step process. Number one, there's no better resource than the parent monitoring what the child is doing, but then also some technical help so that you can make sure that your child's, using the internet appropriately and that your children are safe in doing that.
Dr. Cummings, what type of summer learning options will be available for students and families?
Well, we are currently in the process of making plans for summer school. We have several different options that are in the works. If we return to school, then of course we will follow our traditional style summer learning camp. If we do not return to school, then we are planning for additional distance learning activities and providing opportunities for students to continue their learning. So really it's dependent on where we are, but there is a plan for summer school, and we do plan to continue learning so that students can continue to improve.
Another question for Dr. Cummings. Talk to us about kindergarten registration.
So we are encouraging all of our parents, if you have kids entering kindergarten this year, to go online to register. If you go to the Seminole County Public School website and click on Enroll My Child, it will take you to a video that gives you some instructions on how to enroll. If you are a new student or if you're transferring from another school, that information is there. Everything you need to enroll your child in kindergarten is available to you. There has been questions about physicals. We know that some of the visits from the physicians have been placed on hold due to COVID-19. So please don't worry about not having the physical. We just would like for you to go on, start your process. The other required documents, please make sure that you have those documents available. You can upload them to the system. If you need support, please reach out to your zone school. If you need to have support with scanning documents, please schedule an appointment with your school so that they can assist you in ensuring that that happens. But it's very important that we have an accurate count of those students who will be enrolling in kindergarten this year. So please go online, and if you need support, feel free to call the school, and we will be more than happy to assist you.
Thank you, Dr. Cummings. Before we transition to the Spanish portion of our Lunch and Learn, I want to thank Dr. Cummings and Dr. Dellinger, our elementary school executive directors, and our director of teaching and learning, Dr. Gard Harrell. Thank you for being here. Okay, at this time, I'm going to turn the program over to Mrs. Minnie Cardona for the Spanish translation of our Lunch and Learn.
Buenas tardes a nuestros padres. Bienvenidos a nuestro almuerzo y aprendizaje en el condado de Seminole. En esta tarde, el superintendente Dr. Griffin y las directoras ejecutivas de las escuelas primarias, con el director del Departamento de Currículo, contestaron preguntas sobre recursos y apoyo al aprendizaje de distancia en la escuela elemental. Primero quiero comenzar con lo que comentó el Dr. Harrell, que dijo que nos sentimos muy orgullosos de nuestros maestros, nuestros padres y la comunidad y nuestros estudiantes. Dr. Griffin lo dijo, esto ha sido un proyecto grande. Hemos convertido nuestras escuelas virtuales en 8 días. Piensen eso, en 8 días hemos podido completar todo lo que hemos hecho para ayudar a nuestros estudiantes. Una de las preguntas que contestaron esta tarde fue, ¿qué apoyos hay disponibles para los padres que luchan con la tecnología? Bueno, tenemos muchos recursos para nuestros padres. Uno de los primeros recursos que les digo a todos los padres que por favor ayuden a sus hijos es la plataforma que todo estudiante sabe usar, está en Clever. Y hay una loseta que se ve, no sé si lo pueden ver, así, Academic Support, y en español, el apoyo académico, el apoyo académico para nuestros padres, muy importante. Ahí pueden encontrar muchos recursos para ayudarlos a ustedes con sus hijos. Pueden encontrar recursos para la área de lectura, matemáticas y ciencia. También hay una sección para los padres para ayudarlos con las plataformas que usamos en nuestro distrito. Hay una sección en Google Classroom. ¿Cómo usar Google Classroom? Está en inglés y también lo tenemos traducido en español. Hay un video ahí para nuestros padres que les dan los pasos, paso a paso, cómo usar el Google Classroom. También tenemos el Google Hangouts Meets, que es una plataforma donde los maestros se reúnen con nuestros estudiantes. Y usted también como madre y padre pueden ver lo que está haciendo su hijo. También tenemos información de la otra plataforma eCampus en inglés y en español, y también de los correos electrónicos de nuestros estudiantes. También hay otros recursos. Otra pregunta, ¿qué otros recursos los estudiantes pueden usar si ya han terminado todo su trabajo y quieren hacer algo extra? También tenemos en otra loseta ahí en esa misma plataforma recursos educativos. Y ahí pueden encontrar libros electrónicos, lecturas, cuentos que los estudiantes pueden escuchar en inglés, practicar el idioma. También pueden ver lo visual, las fotos. También hay laboratorios de aprendizaje para nuestros estudiantes. Alimentación diarias que deben de comer, descansar. También hay información del Zoológico de la Florida Central. Giras virtuales son fabulosas también. Y también hay información sobre los parques nacionales. La otra información muy importante que los directores hablaron y nuestro superintendente les voy a decir, una pregunta que salió que es muy importante, ¿cómo puedo ayudar a mi hijo si estoy trabajando durante el día y llego tarde por la noche? Y esta es una pregunta muy importante. Yo les digo que debe de haber a un adulto, ¿verdad?, cuidando a su hijo o su hija. Pídele a esa persona que los ayude, que durante el día los ayude a los niños con las tareas que tienen que hacer. Si el niño está en un cuido también, pregúntale a ellos también si los puedes ayudar y darles un par de horas para que los estudiantes puedan hacer sus tareas. Eso es muy importante, tenemos que todos trabajar juntos. También hubo la pregunta, ¿cómo puedo asegurarme que mi hijo esté trabajando? Pues como madre también, es el momento perfecto para usted estar al tanto de lo que su hijo está haciendo, especialmente ahora con la parte electrónica, que asegurarse que su hijo está leyendo, está haciendo los trabajos que los maestros le han asignado a ellos. Todos los maestros se le han dado expectativas. Una de las expectativas es que cada estudiante va a recibir 2 notas por tarea y es muy importante que sus hijos entreguen el trabajo. El trabajo puede ser algo que te van a entregar electrónicamente o puede ser una discusión que el maestro tenga en su Google Classroom cuando están ellos reunidos. También, además, los estudiantes han trabajado en iReady, saben que tiene que ser sus 46 minutos en lectura y matemáticas. Si tienen alguna pregunta, por favor, llame a la escuela, llame a la maestra del salón hogar o llame también a la maestra de ISO o el maestro de ISO de su escuela. Una pregunta muy importante que también el superintendente nos dio una respuesta es ¿cuándo regresemos a las escuelas? Ahora mismo tentativamente estamos pensando el 1 de mayo, pero no sabemos. Al momento que el superintendente tenga toda la información, inmediatamente ustedes van a saber la respuesta. Otra información muy importante es la escuela de verano. Otra pregunta, estamos planificando para la escuela de verano. Tenemos un plan A y plan B. Si continuamos virtualmente, vamos a tener todo listo para nuestros estudiantes que sean selectos para el programa de verano. Otra información muy importante es para los padres que tienen niños en su casa que van a comenzar en jardín de infantes, kindergarten. Ya comenzamos con la registración. Es muy importante y les pido a nuestra comunidad hispana, a nuestros padres, por favor visita la página de web de nuestro distrito. Ahí pueden comenzar la registración. La información está en inglés y en español también. Y si tienen alguna pregunta de la registración, puede llamar al director de la escuela elemental que va a asistir su hijo o su hija. También pueden llamar, tenemos números telefónicos para ayudarlos a ustedes. Tenemos 2 líneas específicamente para la comunidad hispana y para nuestros padres del programa de ESOL. Es el 407-871-1115. Repito, 407-871-1115. Y el otro número es el 407-320-0245. De mi parte, pido que se cuiden, que estamos trabajando todos juntos. Estamos aquí disponibles para ayudar a todos nuestros padres y estudiantes. Gracias.
Thank you, Mrs. Cardona. That concludes our elementary school Lunch and Learn. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 12:30 for our middle school Lunch and Learn. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you.